connected. Visit graybar.com/connected buildings to learn more.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome to the KMOX Extra Innings Show, powered by Graybar, your source for electrical and data communication products for more than 150 years.
Welcome in. It is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. Cardinals come up short tonight. They lose to Cincinnati by an 11-6 score. If you want to get in here, you can do so by calling or texting 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call or text. You can also tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. And for those of you who are watching on the video stream, you can just leave a comment in the chat, and we will get to those as we go along through the course of the program tonight. The Extra Innings Show being presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. I don't think the final score of this game is indicative of the kind of game it was, but the Cardinals really ran out of pitching late, and they have been stressed from a pitching standpoint. That was not an easy road trip to do what they did from a pitching standpoint. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there was an off day in the middle of that road trip, so that certainly helped and gave the team an opportunity to go through a little bit of a reset, but there was just a ton of guys who are not available, and it hasn't happened often. But this is one of the situations. This is one of the cases of the trade deadline coming back to bite this team, because when they made the moves, and this is not me being critical of them for making the moves, they did the right thing, selling off their relief pitchers that were coming up and at the end of their contracts. They did the right thing, but you reduced your pitching depth in the bullpen, and all the guys who had kind of been your B group who have stepped into being your A group. They've done a really, really solid job, but the guys who have needed to step into that B group and on nights like tonight give you some important high leverage innings, those are the guys that are still not quite there, and you're still waiting to see a little bit more. It was not a good night for Chris Roycroft. I'm bummed about Roycroft. I really, really like Roycroft. I really like his profile. I think his ceiling is being a really good high leverage reliever in Major League Baseball, but it hasn't happened for him this year. He's got a 7.41 ERA. John King was fine. Ryan Fernandez wasn't. And I'm bummed by Ryan Fernandez too, because Fernandez has the profile of somebody, and we saw what he could do last year. He's got the profile of somebody who can be really, really good. And he was not good at all when the season got started, went down to Memphis for a long time, found success there, and has come back and has been marginally better, but he's basically got a 7 ERA since he's been back with the team. So that's not good enough. I felt terrible for Kyle Leahy. He's overused, and he's had a really, really good season. And you could just see with him when he came in, not so much when he came in, but when he came back out, there wasn't a lot of life on those pitches. And he's one of those guys who will take the ball at any given moment. And Oliver Marmol talked about it in the post game that they really didn't want to be forced to use Leahy in 1+, and that's what they were doing. When I say 1+, what I mean him getting it out, going back in, and coming back out. So I know he threw 1 inning today, but 1+ meaning pitching in part of 2 innings, getting an up down in there, and that's what he had. So just wasn't a good night for the bullpen. It was. Offensively, they were fine. 6 runs on 10 hits, 6 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Some guys had some nice nights. Didn't have a problem with that, but just they did not have enough relief pitching at the end. Text message from 314 says the Cardinals had a thin bullpen tonight, and Ali decides to take out Libby after 77 pitches. All caps. Wow, wow, wow. Well, I would kind of send the wow, wow, wow back to you. If that's your takeaway, I don't know what to tell you. You've got a guy in Liberator who you are just trying to get through the rest of this season as he is approaching 30 starts in the big leagues, something he has never done before. He actually held his velocity today. He went 6 strong innings. That was 100 times out of 100 in this scenario. You take Liberator out in that spot. This is not about Liberator coming out of the game. I could not disagree more strongly with the insinuation of that text message, because you got to find a way to get Liberator through the rest of this season. You want to make sure that there's not any type of injury before the season comes to an end. You got him through 6 innings today, which is good when you consider where he has been at recently. The last time he completed 6 innings was June 29th. We're talking 2 months without him completing 6 innings, where a lot of those appearances, he has been completely unable to hold velocity, and he has really, really struggled. And in his last time out, he only goes 4 innings, and you're getting upset about him not coming back out for a 7th. That's a bad take. I think that's a really bad take. I push back strongly on that one. And I guess I understand from a surface level, if you don't want to dig at all in it, from a surface level, I get where you're coming from, because starter goes 77 pitches and you take him out, but you got to go a little bit deeper on that one. That was the right decision to take Liberator out of the game. Carol has given us a call. Hey, Carol, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Different topic, but Nolan Arenado's return reminded me that I had wanted to bring this up. I feel we are a little too critical of players that have no trade clauses in their contracts. Like we need to be blaming the players almost, that we need to be punishing them if they don't want to get traded. I read one comment a few weeks ago that said if Arenado were offered a trade again and he didn't take it, that they should bench him. And so I just thought that was somebody writing in. It was, just an online discussion. Then I read Rob Rain's writing, or at least in his column, and said one of the things the Cardinals needed to do was make it very uncomfortable for Nolan Arenado. So I've been glad that isn't what was done, at least immediately, that he was welcomed back. I understand why we want to get rid of him, but there's some ways of doing things that seem to me not a very good way to do business, and one is by pressuring somebody to leave.
Yeah, Carol, I appreciate the phone call. You haven't heard me say those things, that's for sure. Now, do I think the Cardinals long-term would be better off at this point without Arenado on the roster? I do, just because I think it opens up space and time for other players that, this year you wanted to get a look at. And he's a guy he's a declining player at this point from an offensive standpoint. And I hate saying that because I like Nolan Arenado so much. And his Hall of Fame career has been absolutely incredible. The Cardinals are never going to do anything to make it uncomfortable for him. That is not becoming of the organization. And no matter what any person out there might surmise, that's not going to happen. In fact, this year they have done the exact opposite. He has played. I would argue he should not have played as much as he's played this year. I think Arenado would have benefited a lot by more time off, and he doesn't want it. He's a ball player. He's a great ball player. He's one of the best ball players ever to play the game. And guys like that expect to be in the lineup and expect to play every day. My contention would be, I wish the organization would have forced him onto the bench a little bit more often. And that's not to bench him. That's to make him have a few less starts. I've talked a lot about Paul Goldschmidt and what the Yankees have done with him and what he has been able to do this season with a little bit more rest. I would have loved to have seen what Nolan Arenado looked like this year with a little bit more rest. We saw him get a couple hits today. It's not I said this the other day. I thought that he would come back from the injury and probably have a good little spurt here because he's healthy and he's rested. So no, I Carol, you and I are on the same page. Like, I disagree with the making it uncomfortable, and he worked a no trade clause into his contract. It's his right not to accept a trade to go places where he doesn't want to go. I have never criticized Arenado for turning down the trade. I don't know if he would do the trade to the Astros over again. I don't know if anybody's ever asked that or if he's ever commented on it. Knowing him, I don't think he probably would comment on that. I don't think he would say he regrets it. The Astros are in a really good spot right now. The Cardinals are not in as good of a spot. So from that standpoint, maybe he would go back and do it again. But no, I'm not critical that he's earned that right. You get a no trade contract. That's a right that you get. Text message comes in, says, we saw what Fernandez could do last year. Which Fernandez are you talking about? Because I talked about last year on what Fernandez could do. Yeah, we did. Did you not pay attention to what his numbers were last year? He had a 3.51 ERA with 71 strikeouts and 66 and 2/3 innings. Yeah, he had a really good season last year. Really good season last year. And it got better as the year went along. In June, he had a .60 ERA. I guess late in the season, the final couple months. He had a slow start, picked up mid part of the season, and then tailed off a little bit. But the overall numbers last year, Ryan Fernandez had a 3.51 ERA, 71 strikeouts, 66 and 2/3 innings. If you want to be critical of that from Fernandez from last year, saying that that I'm wrong when I say we saw what Fernandez could do last year, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, because that was obviously a very good season last year. Michael has given us a call. Hey, Michael, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Wondering, mathematically, we're probably going to be eliminated on Sunday or Monday. Why don't we bring up kids from Memphis and let them play the last week, considering we have no chance of making the playoffs?
Who?
Yeah,
which players?
Really, I don't care. A couple of pitchers.
There's a reason I'm asking you, because if it's players who are on the 40-man roster, okay, that's fine. I don't care. That's fine. If it's players who are not on the 40-man roster, that's where I say no, don't do it, because then that's going to put those guys are going to be on the 40-man roster, and that's going to hamstring you a little bit. And they're trying to give Chaim Bloom as much roster flexibility going into the offseason, and they want as many 40-man roster spots available. So I wasn't trying to be a jerk when I said who. It's all about, are they on the 40-man or are they not on the 40-man?
Okay, so that's why if you're on the 40-man roster, you could be called up, but if you're not, then you would not be called up.
Yeah, you would. If you're not on the 40-man roster, you would have to be added to the 40-man roster, and then that takes away a little bit of your flexibility.
And then they have to pay them. They have to pay in the MLB minimum.
Well, it's not even that. It's just about the off-season flexibility of having as many 40-man roster spots open as possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck the rest of the last 10 games. I hope we finish strong.
Appreciate it, Michael. Thanks for the phone call. Sam sends in a message on the stream, says, why did the Cardinals not use Matt Swanson tonight? Swanson was among a group of pitchers who was not available. Here, let me see if I can find this real quick. This is going to sound a little bit clunky. I apologize, but that's all right, because Ali gave the list of players who were not available out of the bullpen. So this is what he said.
Pretty difficult. No JoJo, no Riley, no Swanson, no Alcala. And we were trying like hell to not use Leahy for 1+. It's not.
So there it is. That's that was the answer on why no Swanson. He was not available in this game tonight. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air. We'll take a break. Have more in a moment. It's the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX.
Life's unpredictable and full of unknowns, but your vehicle shouldn't be. No one wants to face an unexpected repair that could derail their plans and budget. That's why we're introducing CarShield, the ultimate way to future-proof your ride. We're not just about fixing problems, we're about preventing financial surprises. You can get a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan designed to save you from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine driving with complete peace of mind, knowing that if something goes wrong, you'll pay almost nothing for covered repairs. Included in every plan is free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, making it accessible to any driver. Don't wait for a breakdown to realize you need coverage. Invest in the future of your vehicle and your wallet today. Call CarShield now for your free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. Future-proof your ride. Call CarShield now. 800-908-8646. 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Football is back, thank goodness. And Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. You can play right now in Missouri, and playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more during football season. There is nothing better. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TOM. That's really important. Promo code TOM to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TOM. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms_DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It's back, and you're invited to join us in Forest Park, September 19th and 20th, for the 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Special thanks to New Ground International and Blue Moon Brewing Company. The 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend. For more details, visit the events page at KMOX.com. Welcome to the KMOX Extra Innings Show, powered by Gray Bar, your source for electrical and data communication products for more than 150 years.
Tonight to the Cincinnati Reds 11-6. If you want to get in here, you can do so by calling or texting 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. Leave a comment in the chat for those of you who are watching on the video stream. Text message from the 731 asks, why did they not pinch hit Pozo or Pajes instead of Gorman, who's likely to strike out even though he did ground out? That was Tommy who sent that message. I always hate questions like this because it feels like I'm like trashing other players, and that's not what I'm doing because all the players you mentioned I like. Joel Pozo since July 30th is hitting 109 with a 337 OPS. I know what he did earlier in the season. I know his ability to pinch hit, yada, yada, yada. He has not been an effective hitter for well over a month. He's a 109 hitter. He is 5 for his last 46. So he cannot be part of the conversation in terms of, unless he's the last guy available, essentially. He's just not hitting right now. And he's been so much fun this year. And yeah, so that's the first part of it. And not striking out in that situation doesn't really matter because it's a 2-out situation. Pajes, if you wanted to go Pajes there, like I'm not going to yell at you too much about it. I think Gorman's a better hitter than Pajes. I know a lot of people push back on that. Gorman's he's in a slump right now, not running away from the fact he is a very streaky hitter. But his numbers this year, so, Gorman this year has a 688 OPS. Pages has a 636 OPS. So 40 or so point difference in OPS. Gorman's been the better hitter this year. And then when we break that down a little bit further and we go just from June 1st, which the reason I do this a lot when it comes to Gorman, if you've been following along with kind of his story this year, he worked with Brent Brown on a lot of stuff on his swing, and he was changing the swing as it went along, and he actually took some bat speed off and worked on some stuff and then started to pick it up. So his swing, the way it is right now, really it's been about since June 1st that we've really seen it. Dude's got a 729 OPS since June 1st. That's not bad. And so no, Gorman's the right choice there. Not running away from the fact. Again, I try to present both sides. In the month of September, Nolan Gorman is a 170 hitter with a 497 OPS. Not good. Clearly not good. And a lot of strikeouts. 22 strikeouts and 47 at bats. So he's striking out just under half of his at bats. Acknowledging the fact that Gorman is not having a good month of September, to me, he is still clearly and obviously the better choice in that situation. Let's see. I got a text message. Matt, you always have such a mean tone and are sarcastic and rude to callers who you don't agree with. You are such a homer and you should be nicer and more professional like Joe Pott. Joe is a very nice guy. I love Joe. You have a very negative, cold personality. Just keeping it real. Only thing you have positive is a nice speaking voice. Chill out. Am I mean? I'm not mean. I'm direct. I'm trying to figure out what call this was in relation to. I've disagreed with some things. Let's see, what have I disagreed with today? The 77 pitches thing for Liberatore, where we're at, that was, to me, that's crazy talk. You take Liberatore out at that moment. I wasn't trying to be when I asked the guy earlier about on the 40-man roster or off the 40-man roster, the reason I was asking that was wasn't because I was trying to make a point. It matters for the answer. So I don't know. I'm sorry that you think that I have a mean tone and I sound sarcastic and rude. I'm not trying to be sarcastic and rude. I like having conversations with people about things. So there you go. Thank you for texting. Thank you for listening. Text message from the 636 says, Gorman is absolutely not an effective third baseman. He had numerous errors the last several weeks that would have made a difference in several games. He does not have good range. He does not have a strong arm. He can barely field hardly anything that's not hit right at him. He has improved slightly since he first started playing for Arenado. He's not a good fielder. I think you're being not totally fair on that, but he is not Nolan Arenado defensively. That's true. Arenado is maybe the best defensive third baseman in the history of baseball. So I think Gorman's gotten better. I think it's unfair to judge him against Arenado. I think it's unfair to judge him off a small sample size. But if Nolan Gorman is your third baseman, he's not your third baseman because of what he's going to do defensively. He's your third baseman because of what he's going to do offensively. And when you compare, especially before September, because we talked earlier about Gorman and the numbers have really fallen back in the month of September. If you got rid of that part and compared Arenado to Gorman, Gorman's offense was making up for whatever defense you didn't get compared to Arenado. And I'm not saying defense doesn't matter, but when there's somebody who is not making a play once, twice a week compared to somebody else, but you get that guy in there for 4 plate appearances a game, those 4 plate appearances are going to outweigh the defense. They just are. So yeah, that's kind of how I view it. We got our guy Ball Game, who generally sends in his messages after wins only, sends in a message. I like this one. Might be the first time after a loss. Says tonight's tip of the cap and raise of the glass goes to all the players nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award. I appreciate the time and work and money that all of them contribute to many great causes. But as a person who idolized Clemente from a very young age, I'd like to see more. Not just when the cameras are on. This is a great game, but more to invest in the spirit of game. I volunteered my time to help a local high school softball team. It surprised me how challenging it is to get fundraising support for girls to play the game. We need more Clemente-like people in the world. So, I like that text message from Ballgame. Brendan Donovan, by the way, was the Cardinals representative or the Cardinals nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. Donovan is just does so many things, and he's such a good guy, and he's such a good leader on this team, and both things that we know about and stuff that we don't know about. The one thing, Ballgame, I would say, most of these these guys on this team are really good guys. They're really good guys, and a lot of their charitable work and things that they do, nobody knows about it. So, and they don't want them to know about it. There's a lot that goes on behind the cameras, as you put it. So there are many individuals who are certainly worth mentioning, and glad that Brendan Donovan got that. And it's certainly well deserved. And I'm really, really happy for Brendan Donovan that he has been honored with that. And we'll see if he can get the win. The Cardinals have more Roberto Clemente Award winners than any other team in baseball, and deservedly so. There's been a lot of really special players who have done some really, really cool things. And this is always one of the things that I always look forward to when we see the full list of players that are out there and getting this nomination from their respective teams. What's on Deck is presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. Tomorrow, it is game number 2 of the series. Cardinals and Reds are going to match up against each other. Cardinals are going to have right-hand pitcher Michael McGreevy on the mound. He is 6-3 with a 4.44 ERA. Andrew Abbott, a left-hander, is going to make the start for the Reds. He is 9-6 with a 2.79 ERA. That's going to be a 6:45 first pitch tomorrow. So network coverage will begin at 5:50. Overall, our coverage will begin at 5 o'clock with Redbird Rush Hour. Kevin Wheeler and myself will have you for Redbird Rush Hour, and then that is going to roll right into the Cardinals Network pregame, and we look forward to being able to bring that to you coming up tomorrow here on KMOX. One last text message before we go. It says Nolan Gorman is a lazy player. No doubt we lost a few games because of his defense. So happy Arenado is back. I hope he's back next season. Do you agree? I don't. I guess on which part of it? I don't agree that Gorman is a lazy player. I don't think he's a lazy player at all. I don't think he's as skilled defensively as Nolan Arenado. That doesn't make him a lazy player. I also don't think the Cardinals lost games because of his defense, because I think he was giving you more offensively than you were getting from Arenado. It's fun to watch Nolan Arenado play. He does things on a nightly basis that you just don't see guys do, and it is a treat to be able to watch him. I don't know if he's going to be back next season. I think the Cardinals will try to move him. I think he'll be willing to move, maybe even more willing to move than he was this year. That's it for the Extra Innings Show. Thanks for being tuned in. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on KMOX. Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider